Hi, everyone. This is Ken from Ken's Corner, and we're back on our NHL fan panel. Some of our guys are rotating, being sick this winter, this Canadian cold. JT, thanks for coming back. It was your turn last time to be sick, and now Phil and George are both sick. So hopefully we'll have them and Gord back here coming soon. But we're going to bounce some questions off you guys and let you battle it out for the glass half full, glass half empty here today about some ongoing stuff with our local Toronto Maple Leafs and maybe a little bit about other teams in the NHL as well. We're going to start with Team Canada, the World Junior Championships. And JT, I didn't get your thoughts on that the last time. Everyone on the panel thought that, including myself, that Canada was going to defeat Czechia and go on and win that gold medal. But Czechia stopped Canada for the third straight year in a row. That's starting to be a thing with those guys. But we did come back, and your friend Carter George was the goalie of record for the win and the bronze. Let's have your thoughts on what happened during that tournament.
Well, I can go on record as saying that Carter George did not lose a game this year at all. I'm not going to blame the goalie for losing that game against Czechia, but I can't say without hopes that I think Carter would have won that game as well. But regardless, Czechia pushed us back down again, kind of set the record straight, and then we scrambled it out and handily won the bronze. But I think we should have gone gold as well. Everyone thinks we should have gone gold, but it wasn't our year. There's a lot of good teams out there. Czechia was the better team.
Yeah, Joe, it's kind of weird, but they did lose that game, but they left the tournament as a winning team. They won the bronze, but they won the bronze. Is that not better than maybe back ending their way into a silver? Because I don't know if they could have defeated Sweden in that final game.
You know what? I like the fact that they had the attitude that they're not going to go away empty-handed because it's easy to do. When you lose the gold medal game, you're like, well, what's the point now, right? And I remember hearing some interviews with the players saying they went in the mindset that they put all that work in, they went all the way there, come back with something. And you know what? If I had a bronze medal hanging on my wall, I'd be pretty damn proud of it. So disappointing for sure. I didn't like Canada's defensive game from day one. I thought they were a bit of a train wreck back there at times. That was a bit disappointing, and they weren't as physical defensively as I think they needed to be. But JT, you hit the nail on the head. The competition is moving on up. Those countries that used to be pushovers are getting better and better, and the playing field is very level. So I think the Canadians gotta accept the fact that you know what, we're not the only game in town now. There's other teams that are creeping up the door, or just as good, if not better than us. So which is good for the game of hockey.
Yeah. On a side note here, I heard that Gavin McKenna he didn't have the best tournament. Period. I mean, he didn't have that Connor Bedard
Good final
moment.
game.
Yeah, he played well in that final game, but did he hurt himself in that number one draft pick position? Is he still the number one consensus draft pick, JT?
I think he still is. Um, there's a lot going on in that tournament for a lot of players. There's a lot of players that didn't maybe show as what they should have been able to. Misa. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that are NHLers that just didn't
Danford,
show up. Pardon?
Ben Danford of the Leafs didn't really notice him very much.
100%, right? So does it really affect him in the draft? I don't think so. But I think someone said he had already mentioned he wants to go to Calgary anyway. So that's kind of the word on the street that he would really like to play in Calgary. So,
Well, that might be coming soon with the trading of Rasmus Anderson, who looks like to be headed towards Boston. Dreaded. Joe, are you in agreement? Is Gavin McKenna still the number one consensus?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think, listen, it's a tournament, it's a one-off. You hope everything falls in place. It's a short tournament, everything's got to fall in your favor. And it's a crapshoot. But no, I don't think that one little tournament alone should decide anyone's fate. They can have a good tournament, bad tournament, depends who you're playing with. So no, I think it was a little small little snapshot, but not the bigger picture.
Okay, so we're going to move on a little bit and maybe get a little bit of controversy between you guys. You're being two on the same side here,
My
playing on
my
the
my
same
drink
team.
glass is half full right now.
Well, there you go. He's drinking the Logan Paul Prime. There's a little bit of
Austin
uh,
Matthews prime.
okay, Austin Matthews. Fair enough. Okay, so it was said that if the Leafs went on this road trip and amassed 5 points out of the eight possible, which they did, they actually had a successful road trip. Your thoughts on the latest games, the last four games, JT?
Well, that's not just five and out of a possible eight. That's 4 games in 5 nights. 3 of them went to OT, I think, right? Yeah, 3 went to OT. That's a lot of hockey for these boys. They started out on a strong note, and that was a huge win in OT against Colorado, and they finished it off on a strong note. It was only Winnipeg; they haven't been doing that great as of late, but it was still a gutsy win. We outshot them, we outplayed them. I don't know. I think it was a all in all, it was a good road trip considering how big that was and how many games in short of a day. So
Thank you. Joe, give us your highlights and your not so good highlights of this last four games.
Well, I'm not going to complain about the Leafs. I'm going to complain about whoever made this godforsaken schedule. Why would you put the Utah Mammoth the next night after Colorado, at 10 o'clock our time? Like the scheduling is just, and then you throw the first Marner game on a Thursday night. Like, come on, NHL. That's a Saturday night game all year long on Hockey Night in Canada. And again, they're playing Marner this coming week on Friday night, not Saturday. I hate the schedule. I hate this compressed schedule.
You're right. In Colorado on Sunday at 1:30 in the
Oh,
afternoon.
like I hate it. And I don't think it did the Leafs any favors because they were full marks for their win in Colorado. And I think that's obviously a high, but then you got to get up and play Utah Mammoth the very next night on no rest. And I don't think that was so, that's a wash game. That was 2 points there that I think normally if we'd had a day off in between, I think we could have grabbed it. We could have played a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, I love the effort the Leafs are showing despite not having William Nylander at 100%. But I do hope we talk about how Austin Matthews, since December 23rd, has finally become the player that we've seen, and he's taken that team and they're following suit. And that's why they're playing so well.
Well, you're not wrong. Ever since Joe Moyer called out Austin Matthews, this man has gone on to score 10 goals in his past 11 games. He's certainly looking like Austin Matthews. And it's looking like Domi's finding him a little bit. And that Michelli, he's finally looking like a hockey player. I'm glad that everyone talked me out of having him traded on the last podcast. JT, the Leafs have now surpassed 7 comebacks this season, only second to Vegas is 8. Is that part of the Leafs' identity now?
I think it is. I think even the OT wins, the grinding out games, the all of these factors, I think are their new identity. I just hope that they can still maintain some creativity and some flair, but yeah, I think they are a new team. Something else that you got to remember on this road trip, their first 2 games were in some serious elevation, so there's an oxygen difference there. There's a whole lot. So they may have ground out that game in Colorado and won it, but the next day, gotta imagine how gassed those guys' bodies were. Like that takes a lot out of you at that elevation. It does. So I don't know why they would do that to a team. Send them out to the west into into mountainous regions and with no oxygen, and but whatever. Like Joe said, it's the scheduling people need to be slapped.
Yeah, exactly. Joe, last night was the Leafs' 7th comeback victory against the Winnipeg Jets. Did you see that coming when Winnipeg went up on the Leafs 3-1?
No, I didn't, but I really love the way the Leafs responded and didn't give up. And I think JT hit the nail on the head. That's what they've discovered is they're never out of it. Keep their foot on the gas instead of taking it off. Conversely, we do have to talk about not being able to hold leads, and we'll make that another subject in a few minutes, I'm sure. But no, it's confidence. You can see they're a more confident team. Like guys, what like did Mark Savard really screw things up that much that Like the minute he was fired, looks like a new team. And maybe there's stuff going on behind the scenes we don't know, but their effort has been there every night since then. And it wasn't before for many nights. I'm sorry, but they were embarrassing themselves pre-December 23rd.
Yeah, that's actually my next question for you, JT. Since Mark Savard's firing, and again, Joe Moyer was calling it out long time before it happened. So our insider Joe there. But anyway, since then, the team seems to be turned around. Not only their power play, but their shorthanded. Their penalty
Penalty
kill
kill.
has been just phenomenal in top three in the league since December 23rd, like Joe said. What is the biggest difference? What's going on?
Systems. Coaches have a lot to do with systems and players playing into their systems. I think the Leafs were playing Savard's systems and they just weren't working. They were not. They did not work. They're that I don't know what that even was, a 1-2-2 off. Like it was, they were all over the place. Nobody supported anybody. They couldn't keep pucks in. They couldn't do anything. It amounted to a 17% factor. That is pathetic for the firepower we have. We're now at 31%. That's since his firing. So that's a substantial increase. That's like that's doubling. Like that's insane. And penalty kill, last 10 games, 91.7%. So that's tops in the league in the last 10 games. Never mind just third overall. Over the last 10 games, we are tops. So yeah, I think Savard had to go. We all kind of said it. Everyone's kind of like, yeah, something's got to change. As soon as he went, it was like a light switch, like 180 degrees. That team they cared more. They just cared more under Sullivan. Maybe Stevie just lit a firecracker under their butts. I have no idea, but I don't know. It's nice to see.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch hockey, good hockey to watch. Joe, most people have come on my podcast, I guess for the last, I don't know, 20 games. They're not seeing the Leafs making the playoffs, but they made quite the push. Although everyone seems to be doing quite well. Detroit, Tampa Bay, Boston, Buffalo, all having great percentages and
Montreal
winning.
friggin' all.
Pardon me?
Montreal friggin' all. Montreal. They just.
Montreal, of course, yeah. Do you see the Leafs? We said the Leafs at 1 point out of a wild card. Are
I
they
do. And
are
I
they going to
do,
make it?
unfortunately. I mean, they've got to win 8 out of 10 the rest of the season. And that's a big, tall order. I'm hoping somebody falters. I know we talked about Buffalo last game. They're not looking like they're slowing down. Montreal just, I don't know how they tie games up and win in overtime. Well, Cole Caulfield, I guess. But every time they're down, they end up tying it and going to overtime, and then the Habs win it. So that ticks me off a little bit, but they're finding ways to do it. I'm a little worried about our defense, guys. It's not up to par, and I think that might be our Achilles heel if it's not injuries. We need to pick up somebody at the trade deadline, and I hope you guys have a couple suggestions. I have one in particular that I think would only help us. But defensively, I'm not confident that we're ready to go into a playoff round.
And who is that one in particular, if you don't
Mr.
mind?
Luke Shen. You
Yep.
put him back with Morgan Riley. And I think I was disappointed they let him go in the first place because I thought Riley's game and what he brought to the table made a difference. Let's face it, we're not going to get 100% Chris Tanev this year, if at all. He's likely going to have groin surgery, which is probably not a bad idea. Get yourself healthy, come back next year. What do you have? Four significant injuries in the short time he played this year. Like it's
Yeah.
just not his year, and we do miss him. We miss that rough tumble, clear the net, puck moving guy. And I think maybe if we can get somebody that we don't have to have a flash, but if we can get Luke Shen on the back end, that'll certainly help shore things up, I think, and get Philippe Meyer off the ice.
I do not disagree at all, Joe. I do not disagree. JT, I'm going to let you answer the exact same question with the Leafs now sitting just 1 point out of a wild card spot. Are they headed toward a playoff spot?
I think they're going in the right direction. I think getting rid of Savard and our special teams were pathetic, and that's why we are where we are. Now we have to make up ground. Like Joe said, if we had to win 8 of 10 moving forward, like that's a tall order to put on us, but that's depending on how the other teams react as well. So all we got to do is hope that maybe they falter and we don't. But we do need somebody at D. Losing Tanev, we've lost too much back there.
Yeah.
Not having Stolars as our 1-2 punch with Wall. There's a lot of things that we really banked on for this season that we're not getting. Hopefully Stolars comes back. Hopefully that does work. If Tanev can't come back, then somebody in that place, like a Luke Shen, I 100% agree. I was so mad when he left.
Yeah.
He's a big, physical, defensive defenseman, and he can make the first pass. So there's a lot of things to go with a defenseman that can play the game in their end and I don't know, initiate the play out of their end. It's you don't get a lot of them. Shen is one of them.
Hey, I just want to take a look around the NHL real quick. Joe, is there one story that has stood out for you on any team in the NHL right now?
Well, that kid in Long Island, holy cow, that defenseman, scary. Yeah. I love the new generation of younger players coming through and starting to take the spotlight, the Macklin Celebrinis, and it's so cool to see the changing of the guard, and it gives you faith that our system's doing pretty good when we're bringing up these young players like that. And I'd love the Leafs to get one. I think we've got, some people on the cusp with Easton Cowan. I think he's good. He's definitely not Macklin Celebrini, nor do I think he ever will be. But man, it's exciting to see these young players come through, and and you know what? It's also kind of sad to see that Calgary, Winnipeg, Vancouver is just man. I you think of the nucleus they had at one time with Pedersen and Brock Besser and JT Miller and Quinn and Thatcher Demko. That's a team that you should be able to build around and to see what's happening there.
Yeah, 10 straight losses. And I mean, Winnipeg can definitely fit into that mold as well, coming from the
And it's
President's
a fire
Trophy to
sale
the
in
basement.
the Big Apple, right? The New York Rangers have let everybody, they're all on
Yeah,
the block. Calgary's got guys on the block. Vancouver's got guys on the block.
exactly.
Wow.
JT, your story, your NHL story, what's standing out for you?
It's going to go kind of in line with Joe. It's just these new players. Matthew Schaefer has made Long Island. He's made them the Islanders. He's made them relevant. He really has. They were an irrelevant team in the NHL for the last number of years. They've had nothing to really to look forward to. That kid is a beast. He's phenomenal on the back end. Like the talent is just unreal.
And he's
So
18, right?
I know he's a kid. He's just a kid,
Incredible. Yeah.
but no different than Celebrini on the other
Yeah.
coast.
I'm
Like
actually surprised he didn't make Team Canada over, say, Drew Dowie.
I know, like I don't know.
His time will come.
There's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then Celebrini on the other coast, to me, he has become he's the player. He's the guy to watch.
Yeah.
So,
thank you. Okay, so I kind of threw in that Team Canada part there just because Braden Point has been injured, and I guess he's week to week. Good chance that I think he'll be back. But if he's not back, who is that one player, Joe, that replaces Mr. Point in the Team Canada lineup?
Shifley, Winnipeg, Mark.
I
That's my
like that one. I really
that's
do. I like.
That's my pick. He's having a great season. He's got the
Mm.
veteran leadership. He's an all-around player, can play both ways. I thought he should have made the team in the first place. Uh, but then you got Sam Bennett. So, it's a that was another shocker, right? I thought he was a lock. So
Or Connor Bedard.
no, I don't think it would be.
No,
His time will come, but I don't think he has enough of a. I mean, he was injured this season, and let's let that kid grow in Chicago. Leave him alone. Let him
thank you.
get healthy.
JT, you're one. Who is that player to replace Braden Point if he cannot play?
I was never a fan of Point being on that roster to begin with. I'm not going to lie. There are guys that are more deserving, Shifley being one. As for Bedard, I think if it was a bigger ice surface, I'd like to see him have a little more open space to play. But this ice surface is actually smaller.
Yeah.
So when it gets tight like that, you don't really need the big fast super fast speedy guys. You need guys that can muck it and work the boards and make short plays, make the little plays in their feet and stuff like that. And we've got a good team for that. And I think Scheifele would be the better fit.
Thank you. And to finish us off here today, our game time predictions. Toronto Maple Leafs will play the Minnesota Wild in Toronto tomorrow night, or I guess by the time I get this out tonight. But yeah, and at the Scotiabank Arena. Joe, we're going to start with you. What's your prediction on this game?
They're in tough again, but they're at home and they've been playing well at home. And we need to start getting those goals against down. 5 goals a night for the last couple of games isn't going to cut it. So I think I'm going to try to say the Leafs 4-3. And let's go overtime again against Minnesota.
And why not? Let's make it another comeback and tie up those Vegas nights. JT, your prediction?
I'm going to say roughly the same thing. It will be Toronto at home. I think we will be able to squeeze this one out. I think Woll gets the start, so I have all the faith in the world, and it's going to be a 4-2, but with an empty netter.
Okay, well, I'm going to go 3-1 just to be different. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming today. We'll come back next week. Maybe we'll have a full panel. Maybe we won't, but time will tell. I'm Ken Judge. I'm here on Ken's Corner podcast with the NHL fan panel, and I got JT all the way up there in cold Thunder Bay, and Mr. Joe from Whistle Radio 102.9 Whistle Radio right here in Stouffville. Thank you, guys, and have a great day.
Cheers.
Thanks, man.